You talk in your book about how the incarnation and resurrection of Christ affects our view of heaven. How are they related?
Well, when we think of incarnation, we think of God becoming man in the person of Christ, entering space-time history, becoming a citizen of this world, an inhabitant of this world. And then, in the resurrection, he goes to the right hand of God, the ascension, and then there's the promise that he's going to return to the earth. But what we often miss is that the incarnation is permanent. There's every indication that he will remain the God-man for all eternity. In fact, we've got him sitting on the throne of the New Jerusalem on the new earth. So here we have Christ, the risen Christ. Remember, he said of his body that a ghost does not have flesh and bones as I have. I'm a real, tangible, physical person. In fact, to emphasize that it was the same body, not a new body, he actually has the scars in his hands and feet. And as far as we know, he's the only one in all eternity who's going to bear those scars. So here's permanence. Here is continuity. God becomes man in the person of Christ. Then there's the resurrection and the promise that all creation will be raised. Now, here's how this radically transforms the view of heaven, or should transform the view of heaven, that so many people have. We have become used to thinking that heaven is the place where the angels dwell and where a believer in Christ goes when he dies. So when we die, we're followers of Jesus, then we go up to live where God lives in heaven with the angels. Well, that's a half-truth. That's true. Paul says that, to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. It's better by far to go and be with Christ than to remain here. But that's not the ultimate. That's like, where you go if you're flying from one city to another and you have a layover here. You're just stopping at the airport there for a while. But what's your final destination? Our final destination is not the present heaven without a body. It's in the resurrection on the eternal new earth. So the way that transforms everything is that according to Revelation 21, God says he is going to bring down the new Jerusalem from heaven, bring it down to the new earth, and he's going to sit on the throne of the New Jerusalem, and he says, I will come down and dwell with my people. I will be with my people, and I will be their God. So that the ultimate heaven is not us going up to live with God in his place. It's God coming down to live with us in our place. And in a permanent incarnation and resurrection, this is Jesus Christ reigning over the new earth, and God has come to live with us. It's not simply that we go to live with God, it's that he comes to live with us. That paradigm shift is radical. We see the earth and our lives very differently in light of it.